Thank you all very much for your forbearance this morning. The weather put a little dent in some travel plans, and so we appreciate everyone being here. I'd like to go ahead and call to order this special meeting of the Oklahoma Space Industry Development Authority on April 4th. JW, would you please call the roll?
Absolutely. Ms. Gurry.
Here.
General Lyman.
Here.
Mr. Schultz.
Here.
Chairwoman Rolls.
Here.
Mr. Siegfried.
Here.
And Mr. Henry.
And Mr. Henry has an excused absence today. Thank you very much. So having established a quorum, we'd like to go ahead. Well, first of all, I'd like to say the Attorney General's office is represented by Assistant Attorney General Bailey Warren. I'd like to ask our visitors to please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Chloe Bennett-Steele. I'm the Science and Environment Reporter for KGU, or Humane for State Impact.
Excellent. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Yes.
Kathy Rodway, on Aerospace.
Very good.
John Chappie, Commerce.
Very good. Thank you. We appreciate everyone taking the time to be here today. It's on a special meeting, rainy day. It's very nice. Oh, yes, and we do have someone remotely. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Stephen Powell. I'm the CEO of Dawn Aerospace.
Very good. Stefan is in New Zealand, and it's about 4 a.m., a little after there, so he is really showing firm commitment by joining us this morning, and we appreciate your participation. Very good. So we'll move on with our agenda. Craig, we would have a director's report if you're ready for that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So I want to tout some of the things we've been working on and some of the things we've accomplished in the last week. This last week, at the beginning of this week, was actually the Oklahoma Airport Operators Association conference. And I was a presenter at the conference this year. I was given the opportunity to speak on the spaceport and the activities that we're doing and have done there. The Airport Operators Association has probably, there's 108 public airports in Oklahoma, and it was probably represented by better than 45 of those at the conference. So it was a good turnout. It was a great opportunity to share, and it was really gracious of them to let me speak, because I'm sure everyone would love to get up and talk about what's going on at their airports. And they do provide for that for about 5 airports to give about a 2 to 3 minute elevator speech on what's going on at theirs. Joe currently serves as Joe Callahan, our airport manager at CSM, currently serves as the Southwest representative, talking about all the airports and collects all the data from the Southwest Oklahoma airports, and he presents at each meeting quarterly, and then he did so at this particular meeting, and then I was able to give an update on the spaceport and the things that we're doing, not only here at Burns Flat and at Clinton Sherman, but as far as space operations throughout the state of Oklahoma and all the things that OSIDA is involved with. So well received, very gracious, and that they gave me that opportunity, and thankful for that. Following that was Aero Day, so it was a rocket shot there, and then back to Oklahoma City, where this year at Aero Day, this is where everything aerospace in Oklahoma is represented, or is tried to be represented at the Oklahoma State Capitol. Booths are set up. This year we had a booth, and there were hundreds of students that come through the Oklahoma Capitol, as well as representative groups that have something dealing with aerospace. And so it was well received. They had a number of speakers, including Gabe Sherman from Artemis, the governor, the lieutenant governor, and a number of prominent lawmakers who are involved in aerospace and excited about aerospace and champions for aerospace. Got to hear from people there, and then they actually got to speak and talk about all the activities and things going on in Oklahoma. And it's a great opportunity to share with some of the legislators. They're asked and tasked to keep up with a lot of things going on in Oklahoma, and this is an opportunity to be able to shine a light on the second largest industry in the state of Oklahoma, aerospace. And so great opportunity for that. It was a busy day. I thank you. I had a couple of my board members. Thank you very much, General Lyman and Dr. Rolls for being there today. Mike, Senator Schultz, I know you've experienced that in the past, and appreciate your continued support from afar. So, and then that queued us up. I've had an entity come out and visit with us yesterday. As a result, Bailey, you'll appreciate this, Board Member Siegfried, when we did the interview with the Wall Street Journal, talking about the shortage of space and the logjam at spaceports. The very next day, I got a call from an entity from a space company that was unaware of the spaceport in Oklahoma, and that was concluded, or the next step of that was a visit to the spaceport yesterday with this company. So steps being made, and each one of those things gives us the opportunity to kind of shine a light on what's out here and what's possible, and that's another reason why we're excited about this meeting today. We have on Friday, we've got a tenant out there that's doing some testing on an aircraft, and they were graciously opened the door to that aircraft to some lawmakers on Friday, and we had 8 elected members come out to Burns Flat on that day and spend a little time. I had a captive audience, so I spent about 45 minutes with them, and Senator Schultz led that conversation to talk about what truly is happening out here and the things that we're doing with the resources and the meager resources that we've been provided. And thank you, Senator Schultz, for being out there. That was he kicked it off for us and kind of set the tone for the afternoon. And then we were given the opportunity to go and visit one of the tenants and talk about and see what they're working on out there. Due to the weather, that tenant's probably going to be here for another 8 to 10 days. That's good and bad. We certainly love having them out there. They're great. I tell you, I heard this repeatedly, and I know Senator Schultz did as well, how much they enjoy coming to Oklahoma. These folks come from out of state. They spend their money here. They get a hotel room. They spend money with a rental car, filling it with gas. They buy groceries. They buy food at the restaurants. And the impact for these 70 plus folks coming to Southwest Oklahoma is a little over $500,000 at least. That's on a 15 to 17 day period. If they stay any longer than that, certainly we expect to see additional funding for Southwest Oklahoma. So it's great. It was a good opportunity, and they just kept repeating how nice people are in Oklahoma. They were just stymied by how friendly everybody is, and so they liked coming here. they expressed that a number of times. And then next week is Space Symposium. This is the premier space event in the United States. It takes place in Colorado Springs. It's a 4-day conference. It'll kick off Monday, and it'll last through Thursday. I know a couple of you will be attending this year. During that, we sponsor a breakfast event where we host as many as 100 key players in the space arena at this event. There'll be, Bailey, Brenda, do you know how many attend this? It's 14,000 people, I think I've heard a figure of how many attend symposium each year. We're a small player in this, and we got into this probably about 5 years ago, and during the COVID year, and we got our nose under the tent, and I think ever since then they were kind of looking at us going, how did you get into Space Symposium? Because it's very difficult to get into into that event, and so we've been there for about 5 years, and we've got a better booth location this year. We've got a meeting room, and of course the Artemis team will be there as well, and we've got meetings lined up. And we'll have the Lieutenant Governor attending this event as well. So it'll be a well-attended event. We'll be able to make a big splash. And I know every year Mr. Siegfried and the NORDAM team host an event that will be usually well-attended as well. So thank you for that. And on the facilities update, you may have seen we had some wind and some rain and some fire. This is not a 70s band. This is quite a bit of activity taking place. And interestingly enough, the particular tenant that's out there doing some testing on their aircraft was excited about the wind because they were doing some crosswind checks on this particular aircraft, and so they were remarkably excited about having a strong wind on a couple of these particular days. But the impact of the wind did have some negative impact on one of our tenants. They're doing some construction on a hangar. The hangar faces west with an opening, and so the wind came primarily from the west, a little bit from the south, or from the north. I can't remember what it was, but there was some damage that occurred. That's probably going to set them back a few days, but all's good. And then now, and then also during this period of time, our little airport was selected to be a staging area for some Canada Air CL-415s, Colonel. You know if I'm right on that. We call them super scoopers, but we had as many as 3 of those stationed at the spaceport. They like to come there because it's a pretty good location to go into New Mexico, to Texas, Colorado, and certainly in Oklahoma in the event. And you probably saw some news coverage about that. I put something on our social media touting that we had these out here and that they were utilized during non-windy days during the wildfires that we experienced in the state. And so they like coming out there as well. We're towered. We have a secure fence. They hang out in the FBO in our office and in the tower. So they, whether or not flying, they're on call and on standby. And so they too have expressed how friendly people are in Southwest Oklahoma. So I'm glad to have that, and thank you for the opportunity to present. I think that's probably all we've got.
Very good. Well, there's certainly a lot of very constructive activities going on in terms of aeronautics and space and education and all of these things coming together under the mission. And Craig, we appreciate your continued diligence, commitment, focus, and boundless energy to keep moving forward with all of these activities.
It's exciting. It's a whole lot of fun. I enjoy my job.
Yes, good. Does anyone have any questions for Craig?
I don't have any questions, but I'll add to, not only were there several elected members, every congressional delegation was represented except for 2. And that was pretty cool as well, see the federal guys out there. So good job, Craig.
And,
Yes.
and one of them actually showed up the day before, so all but one. And the one did call and send his regrets that he couldn't be there, and he was really. And I told all the others to make fun of him and make life difficult for him for not showing up on Friday.
There we go.
But they're all very aware of what we're doing in Oklahoma, and it's pretty remarkable, as the senator said, for some of these because it's not in their congressional district, and for them to make the journey, one of them clear across the state, from a district that does not include the spaceport, to come out and see what we're doing out there and get eyes on to see what we're doing. So
Yes.
Thank you for pointing that out. I forgot that.
All right, thank you very much. We will move on to agenda item number 5, which is discussion and possible action regarding an agreement with Dawn Aerospace for the acquisition and operation of the Aurora Mk2 spaceplane, and for Dawn to establish a U.S. base of operation here in the United States. It would be in Oklahoma. I believe all the board members received the documents regarding this agenda item. Are there any questions or discussion? And we have Kaki here with us, and we have Stefan on the phone, so both of them are very able to answer any questions or discuss any topics related to this really cool opportunity that we have. Everybody's quiet.
If I may.
Yes, please.
I just want to clarify, and Craig and you and I have talked about this, but want to validate in the agreement, there are some obligations that the state takes on with regard to building some infrastructure at the spaceport and things like that. And as I understand it, the ability to do that's covered by our current budget, but we would have to pull back some funds that are for later stages, later phases of our infrastructure repair. And so those later stages would go unfunded in favor of this, recognizing we have a process to go to the legislature for additional funding. But I want to make sure as we take on this obligation that we've got budget to take it on, and just want to state that for the record, right?
As you described, yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Great opportunity, I think, both for Dawn and for the state.
Yeah, and along those lines of what it's going to cost us, I did appreciate the value proposition in the documents that we received, because it's saying that the typical, for revenue, we could expect a revenue of about 10 million and a profit of 5.5 million is what they're projecting for us, which would mean that our return on investment would take just 2 years to get that return on investment. And I think that that is a great place for us to be and get Oklahoma into the space industry for the United States, because they also put in here what the uses of the vehicle is for. So, you know, we have this vehicle that is staged here in Oklahoma, but it's going to be used for observation of the weather and climate, which we know in Oklahoma is always a big deal. But also there's going to be, we'll have clients or we'll have customers that use this vehicle for microgravity experiments in biotech, also improving the efficiency in agriculture and land use. It'll be used for research, including propulsion systems, aerodynamics. There's just a lot of use that this vehicle will be able to not necessarily we'll make a profit off of it, but we're also going to be moving Oklahoma and the United States into the future of this low Earth orbit microgravity science and research. And then it also has national security and defense capabilities as well. So I think that this is a great place for Dawn to come to Oklahoma. Being so central, I think this is a great place for them to start.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes, today marks the next step in a very long progression of moving access and toward accessing space from Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
So other steps are taken, necessary.
Very good. So it was last year at Space Symposium was the first time I met Khaki and your team and learned about the Dawn aircraft. And the lieutenant governor was there and very highly excited about the potential that Dawn brings to Oklahoma, and not only for the types of activities that Deidre is mentioning, but also establishing a larger ecosystem in the space industry at large. This is kind of a first step, as Craig said. It's the first step, but it will be the first of many and a very central piece from which other types of activities will emerge. So Khaki, we appreciate you being here, and I know you have worked very closely with our AG rep Bailey Warren. They have become very close. And a lot of very good work has been done in this regard. So are there any comments that you would like to make?
Sure.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you for having us. Thanks to Stefan for waking up as early as he did. We do this sometimes, but yeah, really appreciate you all reviewing the package and considering us. And we look forward to being here. And we look forward to doing all those things that Colonel Gurry mentioned. And just nobody does this here in the United States right now. Nobody does it anywhere in the world of this kind of research and education and national security. No one has a vehicle like this with these capabilities that's responsive and on demand and just it has this myriad of things that you can do with it. So we're really excited to be here. And yeah, I think Oklahoma is a great place because, as you said, Chairman Rolls, it's central.
Yes.
Central located in the United States, and there are customers all around the country, all around the world who want to use this vehicle, and it's overdue. So
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Stefan, is there anything that you would like to add?
I'd just like to add, my thanks, my gratitude for the time and effort that's gone into this from Craig, from Bailey, from everyone who's taken the time to review this report. We're very excited to come to Oklahoma. I'm very excited about all the possibilities that this aircraft can bring to the United States capability and Oklahoma's capability. All those things that were mentioned. But in the back of my mind, I know that actually the things that I'm most excited about are the possibilities that aren't yet obvious. There are obvious applications in national security, there are obvious applications in atmospheric science and whatnot, but there's actually, because this is such a new platform, this is such a new capability, we actually believe there's a myriad of things that that may be the highest value things to do with this vehicle that are yet undeveloped markets. It's the blue ocean, really.
Yes.
So we're very excited be able to come to Oklahoma, a place where we think we can start actually new capabilities as well, and foster an entirely new space market. So very excited about it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. And I know everyone here knows, but just if anyone's listening or doesn't, so the Dawn aircraft is it has a horizontal takeoff, a rocket engine, and it goes up to a suborbital flight, and then it lands horizontally as well. So I know a lot of times people say, well, we have a spaceport, we should be launching, and they think vertical launch into orbit. And we're licensed for a horizontal launch and a horizontal land. And the Dawn aircraft is very unique in then that it has this capability to do both and to reach that suborbital space. So really, this is a huge step for the state of Oklahoma in making a commitment to being a space state. So thank you all.
Agree. I'll add that my excitement, I've been here for a bit watching the progress of the country and the states, and I'm proud that Oklahoma and its supporters and leadership have had the wisdom to keep our spaceport and our space industry supported and moving forward, but also pure and pristine for opportunities that aren't the first mover. We've dabbled in that and been through that, but in this decade, it's been I'd say it's been led with wisdom and trust that, with time, the space economy develops, and, there are multiple ways to space, but there's also multiple ways to participate in the space economy, and it doesn't have to be right off the bat large rockets and orbital and people. There's a whole myriad of things that you can be a space player in, from training humans to training machines to AI to testing to manufacturing, which we have an essential base in the United States right here in Oklahoma for aerospace. But now with this first step and the next steps coming, participating in the microgravity economy, which is the less expensive way to test lots of things for the future of space, but also for us right here on the ground. More efficient cancer research, more efficient and faster and less costly printing of things for humans, that don't have as much gravity as they do here on Earth, and the biomedical development and improvements, lots of things. So I'm excited, proud to be a part of this team. Thank you, Chairwoman, for leading us here, and Craig and the state for your support. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve the agreements with Dawn Aerospace.
I make a motion to approve.
Seconded.
Okay, thank you. JW, could you please take the vote?
Absolutely. Ms. Gary,
Aye.
General Lyon,
Yes.
Mr. Schultz,
Aye.
Chairwoman Rolls,
Aye.
Mr. Siegfried,
Aye.
All right. Well, woo!
All right.
We're trying to maintain decorum, but you kind of want to jump up and down. So that's so very exciting. Thank you all very much. We'll jump up and down after we gavel out. All right. Thank you very much. Moving on, we're very close on our agenda here. Do we have any concluding board member comments?
Now that it's official, I will, I don't know that I'm dubbed the board historian or not, but as I've said in the past, I've watched this thing since the night that property was conveyed from the city of Clinton to OSIDA. And I dare say this is probably the second biggest day in OSIDA's history. The first is when we were granted the launch license. And this is a very close number two. Sets up for a great future. Don, thank you for all that you've done to get us here, Commerce, thank you for all you've done to get us here. Bailey, thank you for your hard work. Thanks to the Artemis Group and what they have done and continue to do for us. And thank you, board members. Bailey, you've been here longer than any of us, chaired this thing for a long time. You got us to this point, and we thank you for that. And Madam Chairman, thank you for continuing on. This is truly a very, very exciting day for OSIDA and the state of Oklahoma. Great opportunity, great start. It's only going to get better from here. So thanks for everybody that's involved.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Well said. Thank you so much. Okay, any other concluding comments? Okay, I'm not sure at the beginning of the meeting if I said we were conducting this meeting in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, but we are, and we have been all the way through. Just want to get that on record. Okay, our next meeting will be Wednesday, May 14th, here in this room at 1:30. And if there are no other items to discuss, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
JW?
All right, Ms. Gurry,
Aye.
General Lyman,
Aye.
Mr. Schultz,
Aye.
Chairwoman Rolls,
Aye.
and Mr. Siegfried.
Aye.
All right, and with that, thank you all so much for being here and what we've accomplished today, and we are adjourned.